Don't let it. Nothing's gonna happen.
You got some guys who play lacrosse in the house?
Coach, how are you?
We didn't play our best basketball, but Manhattan can do that to you because they're always trapping, always changing defenses. But we played really good defense in the first half, and our defense matched theirs. But they're a very tough team to play against, and so is St. Peter's coming up. As you can see with Canisius, this league hasn't been this way the last 2 years. We won the league by 3 games last year. The COVID year was a little more difficult. But, you know, without question, if we were at full strength, we'd be a different basketball team. But if Manhattan was at full strength, they're by far the best team in the league. I mean, they had the player of the year, they had the other big kid, Dominican kid. You add those two, they have 10 seniors, I think 4 or 50 are seniors. They would have had a hell of a team. Now, the coach, Rashawn, is doing a great job with them right now. But can you imagine if they had the player of the year, preseason player of the year, who's now in West Virginia, full strength with all that experience? So we caught a break as well as the rest of the teams, but we're real happy to where we're playing right now under really, really difficult. We missed more minutes than any team in the nation. And now we got Cruz is out, Michael Jefferson's out, Quinn is out for the season. Osborne, I got a big scare, and he gutted it out and played. So we're undermanned, but I think by the time playoffs happen, then we'll get Cruz back and we'll get Michael Jefferson back.
Coach, how is it to play really 7 players? You know, then, and what's Cruz Davis's situation?
Well, he got kicked, and his Achilles was bugging. We did an MRI, it's fine, but he's now got a bubble, little bump by his Achilles, which means it's a stretch that's going to, it usually takes a week to 2 to heal. And our guards are having to play a lot of minutes with Cruz out.
And Izzanelli played almost the whole game.
Not easy when you're pressing the whole game. Not easy to do. We'll have to go really light tomorrow and get them ready for St. Peter's.
Rick, you've experienced everything in coaching that there is to experience. From all those high stakes games, how does that compare to being somebody who's a high seed and getting ready for a mid-major conference tournament when it's a one and done scenario?
Well, we were talking earlier, I'm dead set against what goes on in the MAAC. Because I think when you're in a one bid league, the champion should mean something. Now, understand that Coach Kluse, who's fantastic, he won it 4 years in a row, but 3 to 4 years he didn't win the league.
Right.
So I'm for everybody getting a home court first game. That's the reason you won the league, top teams, and then the Final Four go to wherever. Atlantic City's a tough. I don't think we've drawn more than 1,000 plays for the championship game. It's a tough place for people to get to. Siena, for all what they knock, drew 7,000-8,000 people.
Right.
So I'm sure the commissioner will look at it because I think it's a big negative for the teams that have great seasons not to be rewarded.
But for you personally, what is it like to experience that? 2 years ago, you guys were not a high seed. You went to the tournament. Last year, you saw the other side of that. As a coach, what is it like knowing that?
Well, we played Alabama, and I thought we could get Alabama.
Right.
I really did when watching them. I thought they were good, don't get me wrong.
Right.
But I think the exciting thing, if you have a great backcourt, you can play with anybody in the tournament. It's no different in the MAAC than I was in the AAC, I was in the Big East, the ACC, and there was one other one.
SEC.
No, ACC.
Conference USA.
SEC.
You
No,
were in
Conference USA. Conference USA. So I've seen them all, and the pressure, believe it or not, is much greater at this level. Like when I was at Louisville, Kentucky, the pressure the first round, when you're favored and you have to win that game, that was great. But there wasn't a lot of pressure at the end of the season to win because you knew you were going to be a 1, 2, 3 seed with what you performed. Here, the pressure's incredible. Because last year we had an awesome year, won by 3 games, we got knocked out, and we felt like it was one of the worst years of all time. And And that's the pressure of the conference.
Are we seeing, though, big picture wise, just the landscape change when you think about the separation? Because Florida Atlantic's 24-3, Fordham's having a great season. You know, Florida Atlantic really doesn't have any more margin of error for an at-large. Is it getting almost to the point where a mid-major has to be flawless or near flawless to get an at-large?
Well, if we didn't lose to, say, Quinnipiac and Siena, we were 38 at one time in the net.
Right.
38. And, you know, the teams we play are really good. Next year it's gonna be even better. So we're gonna continue that scheduling stuff. And but this conference, and I'm not promoting anybody when I say this, I've coached against Frank McGuire in his last game when it was at BU, his last home game, Dean Smith, of course, Coach K and Roy, Jim Boeheim, Rolly Massimino, John Thompson, all the greats in the game. And it's tough, much tougher for these guys in the MAAC to coach their guys than those guys had to coach their guys, because they can erase mistakes at any time.
Right.
The guys at this level don't. So the coaching in this conference, as you watched with Shaheen last year, every single guy can flat out coach in this conference. I'm really, really impressed with it. And we're undermanned, but the backcourts are good. The backcourts in this conference are terrific, as Kentucky and Purdue found out with St. Peter's.
How was Walt emerged as a sport?
Walt, I feel, if his defense catches up to his offense, he has NBA pro potential. Now, that's a big statement, whether his defense can catch up to his offense. Because at that level, you got a guard, one of the great players in the league. But Walt's 6'3", he's strong, shoots it, he uses his body going to the rim, he can pass it, he can rebound. When his defense catches up to his offense, you're going to see. Remember, he's only a sophomore. He's going to be a pro, in my opinion, but he's got to get to that level of defensively.
Where is he falling short?
Defensively,
Like how or what?
I think it's foot speed laterally. He's fast. Walt's fast. Foot speed laterally, and I also don't think he's in great shape. I keep telling him he's 186, 187. I want him at 182. I said, you put a 5-pound vest on and you can understand what I'm saying. And I said, just give your meals to us. But he needs to be one. The same thing with Donovan, Jerry Smith. Guys have to be light and quick to play this style. Yeah, we're playing guys too many minutes. But Anton's given us some decent minutes, so it helps a little bit.
Rich, since the Quinnipiac game here 3 weeks ago, the defense has been refocused. What's been the message in practice to get these guys re-engaged? DJ was just in here and said you switched the units up in practice, they're going against each other now?
Yeah, what was happening, we played our first team versus the second team. And it was like lopsided, like you couldn't believe. Now we move Walt to the maroon team, we move Oz to the maroon team, Nelly and DJ are on the gold team. And the practices are highly, highly competitive, and we've gotten better. Quinnipiac was a matter of we couldn't make any shots, they got discouraged with the defense, and if we have to play, my son lost the other night because he didn't have a house. And they couldn't make a shot. When we don't have Walter Clayton, we struggle. And Walter was out in that game. So we need Walter. And when Quinn was here, we had 2 really, really knockdown shooters. And now we just got to move the ball and make sure we get great shots each time out.
Gave Sadiku some extended run tonight and kind of had to. What did you think of him?
I thought for a freshman, he did a good job. Really good job. Barrick has missed. I think Barrick secretly signed an NBA contract. I really do. I think, what do they call it, load management? He's had more load managements than any superstar in the NBA. He has missed more practices, more time. So I think he subscribes to the NBA load management. He just tries to miss as many practices as possible. That's a joke, by the way.
Coach, after the game Sunday at Niagara, you talked a little bit about the changes in college basketball, I guess based on name, image, and likeness. And this week, Iona announced an agreement with a company called Open Doors out in Lincoln, Nebraska, to help on name, image, and likeness.
Other sports, to be honest with you, it's not us.
Okay, I just wanted your thought on why that matters.
Football schools, I was around when basketball could parallel football, in my early years of coaching. Now, if you look at the television ratings, it's ridiculous, the way basketball, second football has become gigantic. The big-time football schools have a huge advantage over everyone. Their NILs are whatever they want, they get, the football school. Sure. So the NIL's here to stay. My problem with the NCAA, they do a good job, but they're always reactive. They're never proactive. It wasn't until the young man, I'll screw up his name, from Connecticut, said he was starving every night when he went to bed. Shabazz Napier. Did they do something where you can eat and have meals in a private area so the kids can eat? They waited to a kid saying he's starving, goes to bed at night hungry for that to do. Same thing with the NIL. They got tipped off because Congress was pissed off at their monopoly, and they did that, and now they don't know what to do about it. They have no idea what to do about this NIL to get it under control, because they're going after high school kids. They're making, you all heard the Florida State, Florida, I think it was $13 million, they couldn't come up with it. So right now what's gonna happen, there'll be 2,000 kids in the portal this year. You know what they are? They're all free agents. And they're waiting for, I can get 100,000 here, I can get 150 here, I can get 175. Let me go around, let's see who's gonna offer me the most money. And about 1,000 kids are going to be free agents. The only problem is they're gonna be free agents next year. They don't sign contract. So it's a difficult thing, and the NCAA was, once again, is just reactive, they're never proactive. Congress was after them for years about not giving the players money back from the tournament and everything else. They were after them, and they didn't see it. And now they're caught behind the 8 ball, they don't know what to do about it. And frankly, none of us know what to do about it. Are we happy about it? I'm glad the players are making money. But you know what? I'm a little old school in this area. If you make money, you have to earn it. Because when they leave, they're not gonna be given anything again. So I hope these players who are making all this money, I hope they're investing it wisely, paying their taxes, and doing the right things. Because they're never gonna make that type of money again, some of them. And they gotta watch it, because they're being given things and not earned. So they're professional athletes. We are college basketball are pros. We're not amateurs anymore. We are flat out pros. We're getting paid. The negative is pros have the luxury of signing multiple year contracts, so you know what they're gonna be paid. Here, the portal, I hate to see what the portal's going to be this year. Hate to see it.
Rick, you touched on the backcourt already. You had a great front court matchup today with Nelly and Josh Roberts. Those guys were grabbing, looked like all the rebounds at a point in time. What could you say about Josh Roberts? I think he's third in the nation coming to this game in field goal percentage, around 70%. How do you prepare for a big, that athletic, and how did you think Nelly did overall?
Brian, you gave me the women's stat sheet. Stop. No.
They were on fire.
I wish we shot it like that.
Oh my God.
I'm looking down, I don't know, I'm looking at Roberts, how many rebounds did he have?
18.
18, wow, pretty special. And Nelly had 17, right?
Yep.
Yep. Are you gonna fucking get me the stat sheet, or just stand there?
Coach, how is it?
My language.
How was it watching Billy Chambers' team? I think they're 14-1 in the MAAC. They're dominating. They've really come a long way.
Billy is a superstar. She's awesome. I was with the coach of Louisville. Jeff was fantastic. Billy is big time. And what she did was, the only advice I ever gave was not about coaching. I said, go get yourself some players. I said, your players. And she went out and she recruited. She's got a pipeline. Thanks, Brian. Got a pipeline to Spain. She's doing it phenomenal. And it couldn't happen to a nicer person.
Absolutely.
She's great.
All right.
Yeah, Josh Robert, 18 and 17, and Felicia, somebody had a good game.
Is Josh a guy you think can play at the next level, Coach? Whether it be the G League?
No. Josh Roberts will have a great career in Europe, make a lot of money. He'll be in the Euro League. He'll learn to shoot the ball better. He was 4 for 5 from the foul line tonight. What Josh has to do is really work hard on a 14 to 16 foot jump shot. Once you get that down, then you become a good shooter, because his form is decent. So my thing with Josh, if I was advising him, and I'm not, is to go play overseas for big money. They all go after, you remember Doncic played for Real Madrid. So they all go after those players. The G League sometimes is not the best scenario for a player. It is for some players. It's not for all players. So my idea is, Josh, go over there, because when you go overseas, you gotta learn to pass, cut. It's all ball movement, all player movement. And that would be good for him, because he's terrific.
Thanks, Coach.
And Coach, how close is Michael Jefferson to returning?
He should have returned a week ago. He's load management also. Should have come back a little bit.
Thanks, Coach.
We don't have enough money to do a blood test. John, you're a motivation king, by the way. My son